Glass shattered across the ballroom floor. Champagne splashed all over one of our key business partners, Mr. Harrison. How much did my husband love me? To marry me, Ethan proposed 99 times. It wasn't until the 100th proposal that I finally said yes.
Olivia Quinn, you're the only woman I'll ever love. If you say no today, I'll come back tomorrow. And if tomorrow doesn't work, I'll come back the day after that. I'll keep asking until you finally believe me.
That day, in front of our families and closest friends, I finally gave in. On our wedding night, I gave him a crystal box. Inside were 99 second chance cards. Each card represented one mistake I was willing to forgive. As long as there were cards left, I promised I would stay. 5 years later, every time he broke a promise because of his young assistant, Chloe Hart, he used one up. Then, one day, he realized something had changed. I no longer cried and begged him to stay. The only thing I asked was, if you leave with Chloe tonight, can I use another second chance card?
Of course. It's not like I've used that many. Use one if you want.
I nodded and watched him walk away. What he didn't know was that tonight was his 97th card, and there were only 2 left. Tonight was Blackwell Group's celebration gala. It was also my 3rd day out of the hospital after liver surgery. The doctors had specifically told me to rest, but I still came to support Ethan. Then Chloe Hart knocked over the champagne tower. Glass shattered across the ballroom floor. Champagne splashed all over one of our key business partners, Mr. Harrison. Ethan's first instinct wasn't to ask Chloe to apologize. Instead, he immediately stepped in front of her, protecting her.
Olivia, apologize to Mr. Harrison for her.
I froze. For a moment, I thought I had misheard him.
Mr. Blackwell, your assistant is the one who made the mistake. She's the person who owes me an apology.
Chloe's eyes instantly turned red. She tugged lightly on Ethan's sleeve.
I'm sorry. I really didn't mean to.
Ethan gently patted her hand, then leaned slightly closer to me, lowering his voice so only I could hear.
Go make it right with Mr. Harrison. If it takes a few drinks, just stay with him. Keep him calm.
He had forgotten that I was only 3 days out of surgery. The doctors had made it clear that alcohol was off limits, or maybe he simply didn't care. Whispers spread through the ballroom. Everyone knew it wasn't my fault. Everyone could see Ethan was determined to protect Chloe. I wanted to refuse, but Ethan seemed to anticipate that. Silently, he mouthed 2 familiar words, second chance card. 5 years ago, Ethan Blackwell had proposed to me 99 times. To honor that love, I created 99 second chance cards on our wedding day. As long as there were cards left, our marriage would survive. For the first 3 years, Ethan never used a single one. Then Chloe entered our lives. In just 2 years, he burned through 96 cards. And tonight, he used the 97th. The gala had just ended. Without thinking, I walked toward the front passenger seat and reached for the door handle. A sharp click. The doors were locked. Through the tinted window, I saw Ethan slowly roll his window down. His expression was calm.
Take a cab. I just had the interior detailed. You smell like alcohol. It's unpleasant.
If this had been before, I would have immediately tried to explain myself, tearfully insisting it was just a little alcohol, nothing serious.
But this time, I just nodded. All right, drive safe. For a brief moment, his grip on the steering wheel loosened. He looked at me like he wanted to say something. Before he could say another word, Chloe had already walked over. Ethan, I'm ready. We can go. She was wearing the formal jacket I had picked out for him that morning. The dress underneath still carried faint stains from the champagne tower incident earlier, but Ethan showed no sign of discomfort. In fact, he adjusted the collar of her jacket with careful hands.
It's cold outside. Don't get sick.
That soft and controlled tone was a different world from how he had spoken to me moments ago. Only after that did he turn back to me. A brief flicker of hesitation crossed his eyes.
Don't misunderstand. Chloe just graduated. She's not used to these kinds of events yet. I'm just looking out for her.
I understand. You've already used the second chance cards anyway. I won't be upset. He froze. He mouth opened slightly as if he wanted to respond, but before he could, Chloe sneezed. His attention snapped back to her instantly.
Go home early.
The door closed. The car pulled away into the Manhattan night, disappearing down the street. I stood there for a long time until the cold finally settled into my bones. At home, I pulled out the box where I kept the second chance cards. It used to be full. Now there were only 3 left. Without hesitation, I took out card 97, tore it in half, and dropped it into the trash. Then I opened my laptop and started drafting the divorce agreement with Ethan Blackwell. For fairness, I called a professor from my law school days. She had supervised my thesis and had been one of the most trusted academic mentors in my career. Professor, if I were to divorce Ethan, how should the assets be divided?
A divorce? Everyone at the university still remembers how he proposed to you 99 times. How did it come to this?
How did it come to this? I repeated it to myself. Maybe it started with the increasingly familiar scent of women's perfume on him. Maybe when he started coming home later and later. Or maybe when those second chance cards began disappearing one by one because of Chloe Hart. I looked at the box. My voice was steady. When he uses the last 2 chances. At that moment, the door opened.
What chances?
Ethan stood in the doorway, a paper bag in his hand, tone casual, but his eyes had already changed. I hung up the phone and calmly closed my laptop. Nothing. I was just talking to my law professor about some divorce-related matters. Ethan's expression changed. He crossed the room almost immediately.
Divorce? You want a divorce?
No. It's a case she's working on. She wanted some opinion. He studied me for a few seconds before the tension in his face eased slightly.
This is for you.
The logo on the bag belonged to a dessert shop I had always loved. Before we got married, whenever we argued, Ethan would buy me a cake from that store to make up with me. The place was incredibly popular. The line was usually at least 2 hours long. He never asked anyone else to go for him. No matter how bad the weather was, he always waited in line himself. Once, I felt bad and told him to send an assistant instead. You should have sent an assistant.
Olivia, it's okay. For you, I'd do it in a heartbeat.
The memory softened something in my chest. I can't believe you still remember. Inside wasn't a cake. It was clothing. 2 pieces of clothing. A faint smell of alcohol still lingered on both. What is this?
Chloe's dress got stained. Since you've always been good at handling things like this, I figured I'd bring it home with mine. You can just take care of it when you have time. And if it bothers you, I can use a second chance card. You still have plenty left, don't you?
Every word I wanted to say died in my throat. I wanted to tell him there weren't plenty left, including the one he had just used. There was only 1 second chance card left. But in the end, I only looked at him for a long moment before taking the clothes to the laundry room. Over the years, I had managed every detail of his life. The suits that needed pressing before board meetings, the ties that matched each gala, fundraiser, and investor dinner. I handled all of it. Looking back now, it felt almost ridiculous. I had called it love. To Ethan, it had simply become a service he expected to exist. Nothing more. I let out a quiet laugh, closed the laundry room door, and returned to the bedroom. When he saw me come back so quickly, he frowned.
That was fast. Already taken care of? That dress is Chloe's favorite one. I promised her it would be cleaned properly.
I picked up my skincare products and continued getting ready for bed without another word. Just then, Ethan's phone started vibrating. His expression softened the moment he saw who was calling. He got out of bed immediately and walked out of the bedroom. Quietly, I followed. Chloe's cheerful voice drifted through the phone. Ethan, the dessert you bought me was amazing. I've never had anything that good before. But the line was so long. I kind of feel bad for making you wait. Ethan glanced toward the bedroom before lowering his voice.
It doesn't matter. If you want it, I'll go get it anytime. It's not a big deal.
Chloe laughed softly.
What about my dress? Won't it be too much trouble for Olivia? I don't want to make things difficult for you.
She's used to it. Besides, your hands are too pretty for that kind of work.
I lowered my eyes and looked at my own hands. Years of taking care of a household had left them no longer soft or delicate, so he had noticed. He had simply never cared. Unable to listen any longer, I retreated into the bathroom. 10 minutes later, there was a knock at the door.
Olivia, there's something I need to handle at the office. I have to head out. Get some rest.
Okay. Ethan. He stopped. I looked at my reflection in the mirror, at the tears silently running down my face. My voice was barely above a whisper. If you don't come home tonight, can I use a second chance card?